So we'd like to spotlight education from time to time on Leading Edge and from all different angles. BGSU's president will be with us at my table next month. We've reached out to UT's pres as well. I'm sure she'll be here. But today my focus is on a program that clearly works for so many. Vocational, some might call it career education, that prepares so many for a lifetime of work without saddling them with that college, grads are saddled with that lifetime of debt that they sometimes take a lifetime to pay back. To help me to talk about that, I've asked Ron Motter to my Leading Edge table. Mr. Motter is outgoing superintendent. He's stopping by for his exit interview.
Jerry, thank you.
At the Penta Career Center. Are you in Perrysburg Township? Where is that?
Perrysburg Township.
All right, not in the township. Stepping down a little earlier than planned, but also sticking around into next summer to aid the transition to a new Penta Super. You were earlier superintendent over in Northwood, I know, but being around vocational education, you call it what?
Career Tech Education.
Okay, we'll do that then. Career Tech Education for what, a decade and a half you've been out there as assistant and then superintendent. Yeah. What has changed in that venue of Career Tech?
I think the biggest changes are the fact that one of the things we like to talk about, we're not your parents or your grandparents' career center. So just the opportunities we offer, the critical skills, that in-demand jobs that kids can get trained in at Penta, and the fact that how much we're engaged with our business partners to really dial in on what it is that we need to do to put the best product out there that they can hire.
Let's do that last part first, because I think this is critical to what you guys are doing. The state has added some mandates, there's no doubt about that. But in one area, the state was actually just playing catch up with what you at Penta were already doing and continue to do in the way of connecting with the business community.
Yes, we have to have an advisory committee for all of our programs, and so going back,
the state says that.
The federal government says that.
You already had it.
And we already had that clear back to 1965 when we opened our doors. So we've been engaged with our business partners, but we've really tried to ratchet up our level of engagement. This year we've started to ask our business partners, help create some modules that if your company has a specific skill they'd like our students to learn, create a module of what we need to do for that, and then come in and help teach that, and then actually get a chance to interact with the students, almost like you're getting to scout the talent in our lab.
I was going to say that's a recruiting trip for them,
exactly.
if they use it right.
Exactly, yeah. So that's a great opportunity. And one of the things that I always try to tell our advisory committee members when I go to the meetings, don't tell us what you think we want to hear, tell us what we need to hear to keep getting better at what we do inside our labs to give our students the most competitive advantage they can have with the people they'll compete with for the jobs out there today.
Penta is comprised of students from 16 school districts, 5 counties, i.e. Penta. Who are those students? And has your student changed over the years?
Well, those students are kids that are looking for something different. They know they've got a passion for a particular skill set they want to learn, so they want to come out and they want to be welders, they want to be cosmetologists, they want to be nurses, they want to be dental assistants, lab technicians, carpenters, electricians, masons. So some of the things that have changed over the years with the types of students we're attracting are students that want to get a jump start on their career. They want to get a jump start on college. We actually offer more college credit opportunities for our students at Penta than what our member schools do for students.
What about the academic side of what you do? I mean, with so much emphasis placed on a specific vocational area, you mentioned several in there. What about the other academic side of what you do?
Well, our kids, when we switched to the block schedule back in 2005, where kids have 2 academic classes a day and two blocks of lab, they're in lab 3 hours a day, and then they're in their academic classes 3 hours a day. So 2 classes, it's a 90-minute block that they're in. So they're getting 2 academic credits every semester, plus 2 lab credits every semester. And really, I think that helps kids dial in more, where they're not on that 7 period a day, taking 6 or 7 classes. They're dialed in on those 2 academic classes. We're teaching the same content that's taught back at our member schools. We offer academic credits, or excuse me, college credits in our academic classes, and some science and some social studies and English classes. And we want to keep growing that. We're doing simultaneous credit in a number of our labs where we have an academic teacher assigned into that lab time, so the student is earning that English credit while they're in their lab time as well.
How about that? Well, you do have some gaudy numbers when it comes to things. First of all, your graduation rate is way high. And also gaudy numbers when it comes to post-secondary placement, be that in a job or onto higher education. You have kids that go on then to a community college, an
Right.
associate's degree, and maybe even from there through those the partnerships they've talked about with BG or UT, the Falcon Express.
Yeah, Falcon Express and the Rocket Express at Owens Community College. But our students persist on to college at about a rate of, I believe it's around 55 to 60%. And that falls right in the middle of what the percentages are from our member schools of how many kids persist on to college.
But it's
after they graduate.
90-something% in terms of post-secondary placement when you start counting jobs or
when you count if they're going on to a job, an apprenticeship, into the military, getting additional credentials, or on to post-secondary, we're 96.5% with that.
See, I think it's really impressive. Still, when I look at whether your enrollment is growing or shrinking, you're what, 1,400 kids basically
Yes.
out there. It's kind of in a holding pattern. Is that somewhat frustrating?
It's frustrating for me because, again, having been there, this is year 15 and year 11 as a superintendent, and looking back of when we opened our doors in 1965, and some of the same challenges that we've faced from 65 to 2019 still exist. The perception that, well, that's for the kid that's the hands-on learner. Well, Jerry, if your mother or father's having heart surgery, don't you hope that surgeon was the best hands-on learner?
Good point.
When the hands are engaged, the brain is engaged.
Well, you think that not just students, that parents need to look at this situation differently?
Yeah, I think it's just really stepping back and looking at what is it that makes sense for what my son or daughter wants to do? What's a different way to get to that job that my son or daughter wants that maybe doesn't rack up college debt that this nation has 1.5 trillion with a T in student loan debt. And if I can go get a job and the company is going to scholarship me to get that degree that maybe leads to a different job within that company, how cool would that be to grow your own talent within your organization?
Yeah, it's been a great run for you. He's still going to be out there helping with the transition year round until the end of July or so, but it's been a great run, and I just wanted to get an update because I so believe in what they're doing out there. Ron Mutter, best to you in the future, wherever
Jerry,
that
thank
leads
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Take care of yourself.